Axel Foley is back, whether you wanted him or not. Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorns. I'm Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the latest installment in the Beverly Hills Cop franchise, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. It's been 20 years since the last film came out, and to be honest, I don't think a lot of us were expecting to see the return of Axel Foley, but yet here we are. In this fourth adventure, Axel Foley returns back to Beverly Hills after his daughter gets involved in a legal investigation that's gone sour. After her life is threatened, Axel must now help solve this case with a brand new partner, as well as teaming up with some old familiar faces. I think it's safe to say not a lot of us were expecting to see Eddie Murphy return back to the role that shot him to superstardom, and after watching this film, I kinda wish he hadn't. Now, this isn't a bad film per se, it just doesn't live up to the originality that the first film had. It's unfortunate that the film feels like any old detective crime comedy that would have turned up on Netflix either way, except with the fact that we've got a lot of Eddie Murphy-isms as Axel Foley. It's a film that plays it very safe and fails to live up to the name that is Beverly Hills Cop. Granted, this is a much better film than the third installment was, but that's not saying much. I feel like a lot of fans who would have come into this would be highly disappointed, but also maybe not at the same time. And why I say that is because this film is really hell-bent on 80s nostalgia as well as callbacks to the original films, that there are going to be points that you're going to have a little bit of fun, but that's only because you've got these nostalgic rose-tinted glasses on. If you take those away, there's nothing really much special going on with this. Which is a bit of a shame because this is such a beloved franchise, especially for me, so this may come off as a very personal opinion, but it feels like they could have done better. You've had 20 years to develop a better script and also to develop the character even more, but they just really haven't, and they haven't gone far enough with the story. But honestly, it's not exactly a terrible film, like I said before. There is a lot of fun elements into this, and if you remember all the quips and all the cameos and all that, it's going to be fun for you as well. And what's interesting is maybe first-time viewers may find this interesting and may want to revisit the old films. But for a long-time viewer of the franchise, I don't think this is going to work. We're all here to see Axel Foley, and while Eddie Murphy still feels like he's getting back into things, it is still fun to see Axel F do his thing and to see all the Eddie Murphy humor thrown into it. And while JGL tries to do the best that he can, it just fails to live up to the relationship that Eddie and Judge Reinhold had as Axel F and Rosewood. That was the perfect buddy cop duo, and the fact that they tried to replicate it instead of putting Judge Reinhold in a more prominent role was honestly a failure in their part. We want to see Axel and Rosewood back together. We don't want to see Axel with a new partner. Give us that. That's what we wanted. Why didn't you just do that? Could it have been a scheduling conflict? I don't know. Could it have been a script conflict? I don't know. But if they had just done that, this might have been a much better film. And speaking of what could have been better, we have to talk about the main theme. Like it or not, at some point you must have heard the Axel F theme, which unfortunately was made even popular by a silly little frog. Ding, ding. But that is so much part of the franchise, and the fact that this film did use it, but they used it in such a way that they were afraid to use it. Like, there were so many different versions of it, at some point you were going to be screaming, just give us the full theme. And then we did get it. However, it was a remix by Lil Nas X. That's not what we want. Can you imagine if we've got the final climactic moment and you had that music? For old-time fans, that would have been amazing, but no. And for a film that is so obsessed with being stuck in the 80s, the fact that they didn't do it is actually kind of confusing. At the end of the day, while Beverly Hills Cop Axel F does provide some laughs and some fun action, it just fails to deliver on what the name represents. If this is your first outing, give it a go. You might actually enjoy it. But if you're a big-time fan, I would say give this a miss or just go in it with very low expectations. So do yourself a favor, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F is now streaming on Netflix. Go and check it out and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, you can check us out on all social media. It's all on the screen at the moment: Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Go and follow those outlets for more updates. Thank you so much again for watching. I am Nick Dorian, and until next time, keep watching the movies.